Hello and welcome to the Rabbit Hole with me, Graham Hughes and Rachel Harris. How you doing, Rach? You all right?
Yeah, it's getting cold, isn't it?
It is getting cold. Now we're not allowed to talk about politics, so we're not allowed to mention the B word.
And you know what? I could talk about politics in any one of your shows, and I never get to bloody talk about it because the only show I do is the one where we don't talk about it.
No, you come on the Friday night social. We can talk
Sometimes.
about it
Oh,
there.
I can get a word in edgeways with
We
all
could,
the guys.
well, that's true. But we could do another episode of the intersection if you like. I like the intersection. Could we do the
Yeah,
intersection?
but do we want to talk about trans stuff? It's like,
Yes, it's
so
very
depressing.
relevant. It's very depressing, but it is very relevant to what's
Well, I
going
did. You
on.
saw the post I did in the. I mean, just a slide. Kier's niece was assaulted, who
Yes,
was gay, and
yes,
their wife, and that is horrible.
it is really horrible.
And he's really upset about it.
Yeah,
That somebody in the LGBT community who's been attacked. Keir is upset about that.
yeah,
Keir Starmer, the one that's rolling back
yeah,
trans rights,
yeah,
and all my friends are depressed, and we're losing friends who are dying by suicide. And Keir's like, oh, I'm really concerned. This has affected me now. Oh
oh,
well, no
girl.
fuck, mate. It's your government.
Yes,
So yeah,
yeah,
I'm sorry it happened, but it's your fault. Yeah.
yes. But this is the thing, right? So in the 1980s, no one knew any gay people because not because there wasn't any gay people. It was just that no one was out.
Yeah.
And a lot of people like Rock Hudson, famous actor, didn't tell anyone they were gay. So he was really good mates with Ronald Reagan. And
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan went for most of his life not knowing that his bestie mate was gay, which is a bit mad. You should pick up on these things, but
Yeah.
obviously Ronald Reagan wasn't all there.
Yeah.
But after Rock Hudson died of AIDS, suddenly the Reagan administration took the AIDS epidemic seriously. Up till that point, they'd just been fannying around, going, "Oh, it's a big gay plague. It's not going to affect the good people, the good heterosexual people." And it was the fact that as more and more people came out the closet, you had then the more and more people were known or relatives of, friends of, neighbors of, colleagues of politicians.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with trans people is there's not enough of yous.
Well,
there needs
there
to be
is.
more trans people.
There's 1%
Loads.
1%
Yeah,
of
but
us.
we need
1%
more. We need
sex is
more.
a lot.
So
Well,
what have
they're
you
all
been thinking?
There will be, apparently, according to the anti-trans, there's something in the water and we're all trans. But
What I'm
it could
thinking,
be,
team up with some drag queens, right? Do drag queen story hour in school, and then all the kids will turn trans.
that's how it works, apparently. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're put estrogen in the water. All the pollution.
They're turning the frogs gay.
Nature finds a way. Nature finds a way. Jurassic Park, trans people.
Yeah.
So I'm really to be honest, it is terrible what's happened to his niece, and
Yeah.
but the LGBT community, it was never going to stop at trans people.
No.
It's always going to go back to gay people,
Yeah.
bisexual people, and lesbians, and it is creeping back that way.
Oh, absolutely.
And people are just, you go online and people are spouting anti-LGBT, not just trans, and it's this government that's caused it. Wes is meeting the most horrific groups, and he is rolling back our rights at every thread, and might be the next bloody prime minister. It's just frightening, bloody
No.
depressing.
He's too annoying. He's an annoying
I hope
balloon. There was a
It's
story.
like somebody's inflating him.
Yeah. True. There was a lesbian who was kicked out of the women's toilets in a posh Boston hotel this week, being told
Gonna
that she had
happen
to
more and
prove
more.
her gender. And all these people who go on about trans people in women's sports, they don't give a fuck about women's sports. They're never
Nobody
paid
cares.
to go and see women play anything professionally.
Nobody cared. It's a right-wing grift.
They want to be able to say to children, "I want to see your genitals."
Yeah.
That's the only reason they do it. If you meet someone who says, "No, we need to stop these children playing softball against each other,"
Yeah.
the real
Well,
reason
it's
is because
right-wing
the
grift. I mean,
paedophiles.
look at Riley Graham. She came fifth against a trans woman, and now it's a right-wing grift for her
Yeah.
and the whole of the right wing in
Was-
America.
Was it the Olympics? Was it the Olympics she came fifth, or was it just a little fucking swim
I
meet?
think actually the EMA came sixth and Riley came fifth, and they just had the same award or something when they're holding them up. But the fact is that the BBC stuff. I watched the whole of the 3-hour BBC thing. And, Robbie Phibb, as I call him, he was there and he was like, "Oh, there's no bias. I'm 100% unbiased." And it was like rubbish. And then there was the Prescott guy was thoroughly unlikable.
Oh, Michael Prescott.
Terrible. The BBC, everybody knows in the LGBT community, the BBC blocked off trans voices,
Yeah.
has put out fake articles, and their
Yeah.
rhetoric, they platform transphobes every possible. But the right wing is, "Oh, you are biased, you're left wing, you're woke, you love trans people," which is always
Yeah.
the opposite of what they're saying. And there's Michael Prescott is a bad faith actor because he knows they're not pro-trans, and
Yeah.
nobody's having their voices suppressed at the BBC. Nobody, because they are platforming every
Yeah.
gender crit they can.
Yeah.
And that is all such a load of old bollocks. And so everybody in that committee, you could see, I mean, they weren't really challenging him a lot, but you could see a lot of people going, "Yeah, you were." The good thing about him was he was just unlikable. Doesn't matter what he was. He's just a thoroughly unlikable guy. And I was just like, ugh.
Yeah. Okay, I think we're back on. Hurrah! Sorry about that. That was the YouTube gremlins because we were talking about trans issues
And stuff.
and they were like, it's the question though. Name me a trans presenter on who reads the news on the BBC.
Nobody. Well, nobody visible. We don't know, do we? But
No.
there's lots of us about that aren't out. But I think But I mean, the fact was, what I was just ranting about before we went down and the Gremlins was that I've been staunch Labour all my life, and I've left, and I'm Green, because your party's a disaster. The Liberal Democrats.
My party? What did my party do?
Liberal Democrats.
Who's on first?
Well, the Liberal Democrats have got splinters out their arse because they're trying to walk that fence on every bloody issue, and so Labour are a disaster on every fucking thing possible, and and obviously I hate the Tories and refuck. So all I've got is the Greens, and people go, "Oh, you're going Greens? They're not getting anywhere." Well, they are getting somewhere because a lot of progressives are going to the Greens, and if you're trans or LGBT, why wouldn't you?
But I also think it's good for Labour that Greens are doing well. And I know Phil will go, no. If I say that, no. But like they are saying the things that need to be said in order to bring the Overton window back towards the left. Otherwise, it is just right-wing talking points all the time on the telly. So to have someone up there saying, no, we should tax the billionaires. No, we should bring in universal basic income. No, we should look after the neediest in our society. It's really necessary to be done. And on that note, Ed says in the chat, what annoys me about Phil saying we don't know Streeting is a transphobe, he's gone above and beyond by meeting all these hateful groups. He absolutely he is clearly a trans. I believe is he like a gay Christian? Is he quite?
Yeah, he's very Christian.
He's quite religious.
He's linked to a few groups, and but he's meeting. Everyone goes, "Oh, well, it was last year he met with all those terrible groups." But there was an article in Pink News last week where he'd met with all the same terrible groups again to consult on puberty blockers. I mean,
because they know they're doctors, they're pediatricians.
Well, I'm not going to name the organisations. There's one very nasty one that lots of people are linked to all over the world, and some of these doctors on this trial are linked to that.
Yeah,
and it's just, he knows that. He knows, and it might be Labour policy, but I think he's got a taste for it. I don't think it's just Labour's policy. He's just enthusiastically implementing it.
Diz says there was a trans woman in Coronation Street and nobody cared about it. Yeah, Hayley, and she died, and the nation cried. The nation was in tears. Now if that happened, they'll be like, "Yay!"
Nadia won.
That's what you get for being trans.
Nadia won Big Brother.
Yeah, but the biggest vote ever. The biggest number of votes ever on Big Brother for its original run. Nadia was the winner.
This is a created bullshit from the right to get to gay marriage and women's rights.
Oil companies. I can't believe that 80% of all transphobic content is funded by it from America. It's funded by oil giants.
Why I don't drive a car? That's why I drive an EV. So I don't want to pay them any money. I'm not on Netflix because of Ricky Gervais. So I don't buy stuff from Disney because of Jimmy Kimmel. It's like,
that's why I only drive cars that are fueled by baby seal blubber.
Unicorn blood.
and
Maggoteers.
pandages.
Mine's spelled on maggoteers and Tory tears.
Okay, so we stop talking about politics now because this is supposed to be about anything but politics.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you.
You caught me at a ranty moment.
Having a rant on this channel, that never happens, Rach. Okay, today we're going to be talking about our lanes to fame. So we want to know your best lanes to bands, artists, actors that you've met, gigs that you've blagged into, or gigs that you paid to get into, and what happened. We want to hear your stories. So, throw stuff into the chat. If you aren't a member of the channel, or you're not already subscribed already, you won't be able to join the chat because this is a closed group. But give us a like anyway, and also consider just giving us a little subscribe there. Yay. And in 10 hours time you'll be able to join the live chat. Miss Paula Thomas straight in there with £2 super chat. Streeting won't be an MP after the next election.
Hey. But are you happy about that?
Yeah.
You are crap. You are crap. I'll be in the audience. You are very, very crap, or something like that. I'll have a song going for that. I'll write a much better song, but it'll be ready for it.
So Joanna says, mine was when I went to a friend's 21st birthday party. After the show, we bumped into, Rolf Harris, and he chatted to us for 30 minutes. Apparently, he appeared to be a really nice person. Turns out he was not.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, Stuart Hall used to make me laugh with the International It's a Knockout. Then doesn't make me laugh anymore.
Yeah. I saw Rolf Harris at Glastonbury in 2000.
Did he sing Stairway to Heaven?
No, he did Tie Me the Kangaroo Down.
Oh, yeah.
I think he did Two Little Boys. Anyway, but then it turned out. Anyway, Sarah says, I've met Richard Hammond, Mike Brewer, and Tiff Needle.
Oh, good.
Or Tiff Needle.
I think, I've seen Mike. I've seen those. I've seen two of those at the classic car show at Birmingham. I go to that, and they're always there. I don't speak to them, but they're there. You can see them from afar.
Yeah. Richard Hammond still has brain injuries, lingering problems.
He's got a good YouTube channel
from that crash that he had.
Yeah, he does. He's got a good YouTube channel where they do up lots of cars and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Joanna says, my personal claim to fame is I was a project manager for the world's longest scale electrics on the radio news, etc. as a spokesperson, where we were beaten by a school 2 weeks later. Lol. That's brilliant. Hey, Joanna, if you ever watch, I don't know if you've already seen this, but I once did a music video for a Liverpool band, and we set up a massive Scalextrics all over Liverpool for a laugh, and it's a bit of a piss take of the Italian Job and the Thelma and Louise and some other things. It's got
is the Pakistani ambassador's car.
Lots
They've
of
been out the next 2 minutes.
Lots of little references there. But I'll put the link in the chat here. You don't have to watch it now, but there you go. That's Ready Set Go by Zuko. Made on a budget of 150 quid, and you can tell.
Hey.
Most of that went on buying the little bloody minis. Who else have we got in the chat? We've got Power to the People with Graham Price. Saw Dick and Dom in the crowd at Glastonbury once. Does that count? Yes. That's fantastic. I love the fact that it was Dick and Dom. I also love the fact that it was at Glastonbury. And I also love the fact that they were just in a crowd. It's not like you went to see them. It was just like, oh, yeah, that's Dick and Dom. I love also the fact that they were hanging out outside of the show. Because I met the guys from Taskmaster, little Alex Horn, and the tall guy. What's his name? Thingy from The In-Betweeners. Greg Davis.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, he's great, yeah.
And I was like, so do you actually hang out, in real life together? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, I was like, yeah, just hated each other. And no, we just do that for the show.
It's the politics.
That's really nice.
We don't hang out together.
Yes, we do. The only reason we don't hang out together is because of physical,
You live up at Winterfell, don't you?
Yeah, well, you live down in Hobbiton. What am I supposed to do? Go walk all the way from Gondor? Anyway, well, I'm in the north, aren't I? So where am I? I'm in the...
For the watch.
The Witch King of Angmar. Is that it? Is that the guy? Adam is saying, once did some very basic gig lighting for my mate's band. The main band asked me to do the lights for them. That was done for Steve Marriott. Okay. And Tommy Lee Cadden says, I met Rachel Reeves in 2023.
Hello, Rachel Reeves. Hello.
We're not supposed to talk politics. Oh, there he is.
I know, but
Hello.
do an impression. You go, Janet Street Porter and Rachel Reeves. You never see them in the same room together, do you?
I thought that was your Starmer impression.
No, that's a bit. I do a wobble with them.
Okay, yeah. sorry, everyone. One Agapig says Francis Rossi and Rick Parfitt from Status Quo signed one of me clean nappies in 1994. I was 8 months old. That is a wonderful claim to fame. I absolutely love that.
That's great.
And Richard Hammond is quite nice apparently, as is James May. It's just Clarkson that is a Tory twat.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's from Graham Price. Yeah, I've heard that as well.
Yeah.
I think he's the only one into private school like the three of them.
I think it's closed. It's Lancing he went to. Was it Lancing?
No,
not Lancing. No, not Lancing. Oh, it was something like that. It was closed. It's closed now, isn't it?
Oh, Joanna says after doing that project, I now hate Scalextrics. Oh, I'm so sorry. What you want to do is get a Guinness World Record that's almost impossible to beat, and then it'll be your record for at least 10 years, more than 10 years now. That one.
I had a Scalextric in the 70s. The transformer was something very, very dangerous that my dad built. And it smelled. It was a burning smell. It does put out 12 volts. He used to say, does it?
Yeah.
Not touching that.
Press down on the controller and the cars just fly off the end. Brilliant. Did you ever have the thumb controllers, or was it always the thumb controllers?
Yeah, they look like guns. Yeah.
No, there was one with the thing, and there was another one that you could get.
Oh no, it was the
older one.
The older one was the thing. But it did have I had the very rare piece of track that had the counter built in, so it went round.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah. Was it like a big clock? Was it a big circular?
Yeah, it's built into the track.
And it would count the laps, so you didn't have to.
Count the laps. Very rare piece of electric, that is. Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't get round an entire circuit without having to put the car back on the track because it had fallen off.
Yeah.
But later on, they got magnets on the bottom of them, and they stayed on the track a lot better. I used to have like a Jag supercar, and it had a magnet.
Was a later sort of where the cars could change track, if you sort of, I mean, it was TVR or TV something or other. It was so they could zigzag like that across.
Yeah, there was a piece of track that was like an X that crossed over. But then
I had that. Yeah,
the newer Scalextrics, I think you can change which track you're on, so you can overtake.
Yeah,
so that's the idea there. But it's a lot different now. The old pieces don't fit with the new pieces.
Not like the old days, you know.
We had to stay on your fucking track. Yeah. I used to have a banked corner. Yeah, the bank. It was like what's the place? Brooklands. No, what's the place where they had the old circuit? It's got the banked Brooklands.
Brooklands, yeah, it's got the concourse there. I sent you some pictures.
Yeah, and it's got the bank corners, hasn't it? The old concrete bank corners. Yeah.
Well, James May did a Scalextrics project down there on one of his weird. Yeah, he did it for a housing estate that's right in the middle of the track gap.
Brilliant. Yeah.
What was the first band you saw then? Well, let's just do first bands, and we'll just.
I was at the Underground in Manchester when Carter played when I was a kid, but like I can't. Honestly, I'm not going to take that. I could actually, if I really pushed it, I could say that the first gig at the Manchester Apollo was actually Rob Newman and David Baddiel from the Mary Whitehurst Experience. But the first actual gig that I actually bought a ticket for and actually went to see was Weezer. Ooh wee you, I look just like Booty.
Weezer good.
No, that was the Shaman. The Shaman.
Yeah, but he's screwed.
It's not about drugs, mate. He's on the word at Terry Christian. Go, nah, mate. It's not about drugs. It's like ease are good. Ease are good. He's up and ease are good, and it's like, nah, it's not about drugs, mate. It's not...
Really?
What was your first gig?
So I have got a string of terrible bands to tell you late, but the first band I went to see, which is why I have tinnitus in my 50s, is I went down to Margate to see a band called Spider.
Oh, right.
Heavy metal band.
Yeah.
And he was the lead singer. I think Spider was in support.
Yeah.
Spider was the supporting band, and then it was the guitarist. I don't know. It was from AC/DC or Iron Maiden. Somebody had broken away from from the other heavy. I think it was ACD, and he came and did his own. This is how long ago. In Amnesia, I've got. I was 15 years old. So Spider was the backup. Then it was the guitarist from AC/DC in his own band or something, a spin-off. And I just remember headbanging like mad, and I had my head practically in the speaker,
Yeah.
and my ears whistled for about 3 days. And I have tinnitus in my 50s. I don't know, but so it was Spider and they were the support, and the guy, I think it was the guitarist from AC/DC, who had a spin-off thing. Can't remember what it was called.
Yeah.
But then not long afterwards, and this is so embarrassing, was I went to see the Flying Pickets.
Oh, is that embarrassing?
Well, I don't know. It's just like, oh yeah, man, I went to see the Grateful Dead, and but I went to see the.
Come on, they had a Christmas #1 with the song that should have been Christmas #1 the year before.
Well, not only that, I saw them twice.
Fantastic,
because I really like them.
No, that's cool. I'm actually, now that I'm thinking about it, the reason I went to my first gig, when I was a little kid, my dad took me to see Frankie Lane play in Southport.
Mm.
You know, the guy who sung Rawhide and High Noon and stuff, and Wild Goose, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Anna met him. After the gig as a little kid. And my dad got his record signed or something.
And let me get the bad bands out of the way then, but then I can I went to see Bjorn again.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with that?
I like that.
That's
great.
No,
it was all right. But it's not exactly, I went to see R.E.M., didn't I? Then I went to see Ash. Oh, yeah. No, it's that Glasgow. I mean, I'm seeing these kind of
My first single was TURTLE Power by Partners in Crime from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles video. It was a single as well from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle film.
Oh my God. You just reminded me of another band I've just seen. Okay. So then I went to see the beautiful, then saw the Pet Shop Boys.
That's very cool. Come on.
Yeah, it is and it isn't. I was talking about this with my wife this morning.
What? How is it not? You saw them in their heyday.
I did.
When they were young and sexy and interesting and from Newcastle.
This was 1989. 1989.
Brilliant.
I went to see them 1990. I went to see them at the Wembley Arena.
That would have been Pop. You went to the Pop tour?
Yeah, I went to Wembley Arena to see them.
That's so cool.
But
what?
There was a seat. The furthest seat, and go to the Wembley Arena and find the seat that's the furthest from the stage. That was my seat.
You were still there. It still counts. It still counts
on a big screen.
Yeah, but the atmosphere.
That
is really cool.
I could have watched them on telly.
That is cool.
I could have watched some of the old grey whistle tests.
No, you saw them at the height of their powers. That is very cool.
I did see. Well, I saw the two dots on a stage bouncing up and down.
That's fine. You were there. You imbibed the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Come on. That is
right.
That is pretty cool. Right,
so, moving on.
Well, we need to just talk in the chat for a moment.
Yeah, I'll go for it.
Because Diz says the group Imagination were family friends for a while. I met the cast of Blake 7 at a sponsored swim. I met Paul Darrow. He gave a talk at Fab Cafe when I was there.
Oh, I love that.
Speaking of famous people, I just sent you the funny stories. Oh, okay. Guinness are strict though. After going round one way, you have to rewire it to allow it to go the other way. If you don't, you fail. Ooh, yeah, I know. Guinness are bastards. Well, not Guinness. The makers of the drink. They're separate. Guinness World Records could be really awkward about what they count as a record or not.
I have a side question on that.
Go on.
You said, I entered this country illegally and they wouldn't let me have it. I had to go back and walk across the barrier, walk across again.
Yeah.
Well, surely, didn't you go to Cuba illegally?
No.
There wasn't in your book a lot of I just nipped across the border and got me.
Yeah, but I always went into an official border post. So where we went in Maria del Gorda in Cuba, we came in on a boat officially. We radioed over. They came out to the boat. We put up the yellow quarantine flag. We did all the right things, and they didn't stamp my passport because I asked them not to. So they stamped a piece of paper that went in my passport because they knew that if I went to America with a Cuban pass stamp, they'll be funny about it. So
when you weren't actually going into the country, but you needed to log it, and you just nipped across. That was all right. Yeah,
because it was an official border point.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? I always went up to the border and said, can I log this? And they were like, yeah, all right. But no, it wasn't an official border point, and that's why they got uppity about it. There was a particular person who worked for Guinness, and they were notorious for saying no to any new records. Yeah. And I've got it literally. and know people, other people who also fell foul of this person.
Was it Norris McWhirter and his brother?
No, it wasn't Norris. No. No, unfortunately. What else have we got in the chat, though? We've got my band played support for the African band, the Bundu Boys, on their Scottish tour. That's very cool. Tommy says, Jim Jeffries, after a show he did at Leeds, he asked me when the nearest titty bar was. After he signed my DVD. My mug that said the word cunt on it. Started my first job the next day. That's very cool. Pete Van den Kat. I worked at the Theatre Royal in St Helens. I met lots of TV folk, mainly Brookside cast. Mr. Spoon from Button Moon, Brian Cant, Blakely from On the Buses,
Brian Cant.
Simon Ward. I got a kiss off Anita Harris. That's quite cool. I love the Brookside cast. I did. The guy who played Mick Johnson, I did a thing with him for children's mental health. He was really nice. And I worked on a bunch of stuff
Barry Grant.
Dean Sullivan, who played Jimmy Corkill. I helped film a pilot for him.
He's great, Jimmy. Yeah.
Yeah, a pilot called Terry Crossed the Mersey. And the plot was that Terry was a bigamist and he had a Scouse working class wife in Liverpool, and then he had a very posh, hyacinth bouquet, upper middle class wife over in West Kirby over the water, and he'll take the ferry, and he had two families and they didn't know about each other, and it was a comedy. As comedies go, I mean, okay, that's a good setup. It's a good setup. Yeah. I was gutted when Dean Sullivan died. He was really sad. He was a top bloke. He was really nice, but he was a close talker. A lot of people who work in TV, especially on soaps and things, they always come a bit too close to your face to talk, because back in the day before we had nice 16:9 and it was all 4:3, to get the two characters onto the screen at the same time, they had to be really close to each other.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I remember him because I watched all of Brookie when I was young, and I remember him doing the HIV/AIDS story where he thought he had HIV/AIDS, and he was pouring bleach on his arms because he had. And he hadn't got it, but he was like, I've got the AIDS. He said it was like he hadn't, but they were trying to cover that story. Yeah, quite sympathetically. They used Jimmy Corkill as the
Jimmy Corkill. That was off me head, Jackie. Me and Fred the Weatherman. Cracker.
Heather Havisham was the gorgeous one in that. She was
Who?
Went up to,
Who?
The character was called Heather Havisham or something like that. She was the very pretty. She went on to do the pathologist thing, cutting up bodies.
Oh, okay.
On BBC, but she was really good in that. That's what launched her. First thing I watched.
Heather Black.
It might have been. Is it Heather Black?
And played by Amanda Burton. No.
Oh, that's it, Amanda Burton. Yeah. When I was young and 15.
She's quite gorgeous.
She was, yeah.
I was a bit later than that. I was more Beth and Margaret era, Anna Friel.
Yeah, or The First Kiss.
Oh, first lesbian kiss on British television.
Kiss.
God, I think I was like 13. I mean, come on. Was the world made for me or what?
Didn't she bury her dad under the patio though?
Yes, yes. Trevor Jordash, because he was a rapist, wasn't he? He was a child abuser. Yeah. But yeah, so they killed him and buried him under the patio, and then Sinbad covered for them, I think.
Yeah. Sinbad. Yep.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Evening all. Once played guitar on stage with the awesome Bert Whedon of Tuna Day, book fame. Wow, that is brilliant. I think that's my favourite so far.
Yeah.
Bert Whedon of Tuna Day, book fame. Fantastic. Thank you very much to Pete's music there. Al Lone says, I met Colleen Nolan in Butlins. That's brilliant. Miss Paula Thomas, I've also met Bill Cotton Jr. when he was controller at BBC One at a family party. And let's have a look. Met the Queen guitarist, Brian May, at an astronomy event. And we chatted in the cafe when he came for coffee. Lovely person. Oh, that's
nice.
So nice.
That is lovely. I like that.
That is really sweet. And Brian May, famously, he's got a PhD now. PhD.
I've not met many. I mean, obviously Terry Christian and Marina Purkis. Marina went hello and ignored me, but let's not go there. But Terry,
Yeah.
Not met him, but I chatted to him.
Yeah.
The one I have met, and this is probably the only celebrity. I mean, I've met politicians and stuff. I don't count them because they're not celebrities. But I have met. I was on a cruise in 1990. Oh
Yeah.
shit, no, 92, 92. I was on a cruise in 1992 going around the Caribbean, and the guest on stage the night in the big gala was Petula Clark, and I had breakfast with
Oh,
her. I came on a breakfast. She was sitting on her own, so I sat with her. She didn't know what boat she was on. She didn't know where she was because they were lifting her off by chopper because Royal
yeah.
Caribbean. They were picking her up, dropping her on another liner. She'd sing her set, then she'd pick her up, walk, drop her on. But I don't like. And I was a young, I was 20, I don't know what it was, but she was, we had breakfast together, just her and I, for about half an hour. It was lovely.
Oh,
Really
oh,
pleasant. Julia
oh.
Clark, there you go. Downtown. That's where we
Well,
went.
if we're going to talk about people that we met who were dicks, right? So I was a choir boy at Aveline's wedding in Bread,
Yeah.
and they filmed him in the church where I was a choir boy. So it was the real choir who weren't like little actors or anything. It was just, not what we normally do. We normally did weddings on a Saturday, but it's a very special Saturday. Actually, no, I think it was a school day, and I think we were all allowed to have the day off school so we could go and film this thing for Bread, which is for an excuse to have a day off school. That's pretty cool. And
Yeah.
everyone was really lovely. Jean Boat, who played Nellie Boswell, she
Oh,
was
yeah.
so nice. She was so friendly. All
Yeah.
the other people were lovely, except for Jonathan Morris, who played Adrian. Was he the guy who pretended to be a poet, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And he was a fucking dick. He was so rude. We were only like 7 or 8 years old. And we were
Yeah.
trying to get we were trying to get like the autographs of everyone, of the cast on a, I don't know, piece of.
Don't meet your heroes. Don't meet your heroes.
And he went, "Go away, I'm very tired," and like lay down. And he was very posh as well. It's just funny. He's in Manchester, but he was very posh. Everyone else was like either Scouse or good at pretending. But he's oh, go away. I'm ready to talk to you. And it always pissed me off. So yeah, screw that guy.
I remembered another person I met but didn't speak to. I sat next to Andrew Lincoln at a funeral.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there you go. Walking Dead guy.
Yeah. And Four Ends, not Four Ends. Love Actually.
Love Actually, yeah. He was wearing sunglasses in a church at a funeral.
Yeah. He's
so,
the guy who tries to steal the white wife off his black mate.
That's right.
Massive racist.
Yeah, true. Keira Knightley, transphobe. But
Keira Knightley, every one of her lower teeth is in it for themselves.
Yeah. So Andrew Lincoln was I sat right next to him. It's quite interesting. The funeral was.
Did you say hello?
Actually, pardon?
Did you say hello?
No. But
did you say Carl?
I met him. The reason, I mean, I used to have back in the day. I used to have singing lessons, and because I like singing, and I do a lot of music.
Yeah.
And his singing coach was my singing coach, and he often came out because his session was before me. So and the guy who was a singer, the coach was a guy called Craig Barber, who was lovely. He worked at RADA, but this wasn't at RADA. He was in a studio in London. I lived in London back in the early 2000s. So on a Saturday morning, when I was young, I was trans, I was a bit lonely, and I went along to see Craig, who was this flamboyant gay guy. And he would like, "Rachel, come in, darling, kiss, kiss." And
fantastic.
And I would just sing. And he taught me, I sang stage shows, and he taught me to sing. But the person, every time I would sit on the stairs waiting because Craig always rolls around over, and it was Andrew Lincoln often was the one that came out before me because it was his slot was before me. We didn't ever speak the whole time, and then I ended up sitting next to him at the funeral when Craig died.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
So there you go.
Oh, there you go. Well, he wasn't. So he wasn't a dick, though. I mean,
No, he wasn't a dick at all. No, I really like Andrew Lincoln. I've always liked Andrew Lincoln.
Good.
Anyway. I loved him in Teachers as well.
Oh, Oliver saying Paul O'Grady was a gentleman.
Yeah, lived in Kent.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Graham says, I shook Paul O'Grady's hand when I saw him do his live show once. To be fair, he shook hands with everyone at the front row, so I wasn't special. No, but you were special because you got to shake Paul O'Grady's hand, and I never did. So I actually thought that after the Queen died, I thought, why did I never make an effort to meet the Queen? Because that would have been quite a cool thing to have done.
So I shook Prince Charles's hand in 1978.
Oh wow! Before he got married, when he was still a single man.
Yeah, 78. He came to open a cricket pavilion because I went to a secondary modern school in Kent, really shithole. They're training you to put wheels on trains. That was it. That was the expectation of the
Yeah.
school. Bachelor, you could go and work at bachelors if you were lucky. They didn't do O levels, only CSEs. That's how crappy the school was. But next door at the Norton Natchball School, very posh, was the grammar school, and they had a cricket pavilion built. And he came in his helicopter and landed, and all the women's hats blew off and their skirts blew up over their heads.
Yeah.
We thought that was very funny. At the poor kids. Anyway, they thought some poor kids should be in the audience, so some of us were there to pour. And he came down and he shook my hand. There we go.
Oh wow, wow.
He probably after I've touched a poor person, but it was a rough boys' school I was at, and they just thought it would be good that Oliver and a few of the others from the workhouse were there at the posh.
Wow.
But his helicopter, he was a big Wessex helicopter. And I did think when all the posh women's hats blew off, that was hilarious to us. Good times.
Wow.
It was the 70s. Simple amusement.
It was crazy times. Hey, I'm just because I wanted to find out about Frankie Lane. I looked him up on Wikipedia, and he was actually born Francesco Paolo Lovecchio. And his dad was the personal barber for Al Capone. That's fucking crazy. There you go. 6 degrees of separation. Me, Frankie Lane, Al Capone. Wow.
And it's Al Capone. Didn't Al Capone went to Alcatraz, right?
He did.
And I've seen his cell in Alcatraz, and opposite the cells is the bit where the barber is. There's for the 3 mirrors. There's a big barber thing right off the. Yeah. There you go.
I went to the place in Negumbo in Sri Lanka where the Queen stayed in like the 70s or something, and I had a poo in the same toilet that she used.
There you go.
There you go. That's my best claim to fame.
But did you pick up the poo that
the Queen left behind 30 years earlier?
ABBA left and wear it in your tube.
Wear it around my neck. No. Funnily enough, no. Cumry says Bruce Dickinson, Iron Maiden singer, met in Cardiff train station the week Christmas before. He was afraid I was one of those fans, but when I asked him how he enjoyed Cumry, we had a good chat. Oh, that's all right. Although he's turned out to be a bit of a Brexitter, hasn't he? I think. I don't know. One Angry Pagan saying that he saw Status Quo live in Powderham Castle Gardens in 2005. That's nice. Cool.
Good, I like that.
Pete is showing off. My first gig was Anthrax. Wow.
Oh, dear.
Wow, at the Apollo in Manchester. I've been to a lot of good gigs at the Apollo. Tommy says, I could have met Snoop Dogg in 2015, but me and my mate got caught with weed and we weren't allowed in, even though Snoop was smoking blunts on stage. Explain that one to me. Graham Price says, mine was The Killers, another cool band to have.
Oh, very cool. You have soul.
But they weren't soldiers, That's
they weren't
the thing.
Soldiers.
No, they weren't soldiers, no. But it was dead early in the career. There's only about 700 people, and nobody knew any of the songs about except Mr. Brightside. Well, I'm still made up that was it last year when who's the comedian who does Phoenix Nights?
Oh yeah,
Peter Kay.
Peter Kay.
Yeah.
Get onto internet.
Get onto the internet.
Internet. Yeah.
I like his sketch about different biscuits, dunking your biscuits, and the hobnobs being like the SAS commandos of biscuits because you can again. Anyway, so he did this tour, didn't he, last year? And he sold out in seconds, and he was doing these massive arenas and stuff. And I saw him at Scuffy Murphy's in Manchester, next to the Queen of Hearts at the Crossroads in Fallowfield. And it was Scuffy Murphy's, which is fucking tiny. It's about the size of this room. And I only went because I thought it was Paul Kay who does Dennis Pennis.
Yeah.
I thought it was Dennis Pennis. So I went along. And that was before he was big and famous and everyone knew
stood behind Paul Kay at a cash point at Waterloo 2 years ago.
Really? Yeah. Did you say, I loved you in Game of Thrones?
No, I didn't say anything to him. No, I stood behind him at a cash point. That's good. That's another one. When I meet my celebrities, never speak to them. Just stand there and stare at them.
Well, I've told you the time I was on the plane and Noel Gallagher tried to get past me. And I said, fuck me, it's Noel Gallagher out loud. I just wasn't expecting. I was waiting to go to the loo.
Did he nut you?
No, he just looked at me like I was a fucking tit, which is fair enough. Yeah. But yeah, Ian Brown was on that flight, Liam and Noel, and also Franz Ferdinand, Alex, and the team, the guys from Franz Ferdinand, were all on the same flight to Bangkok.
Yeah. I was in that.
Great
I was
days.
in. I was on a plane with a comedian. He was in first. I was in,
Who's on
upper.
first?
But his all his staff were down. All his he's that posh one, the one that was in that Channel 4 series
The fucking
about the student.
Fulfords.
No, it was the one about I can't even remember his name. He's quite posh. He did the thing with the comedy with his dad as well.
I don't know.
Come to me. He did the thing about the students living in the house on Channel 4 that was on about 6 years, 7 years ago, and he was the posh kid. But come to me anyway. He was in bit first, and his all his team were back in the back of the plane, and so he kept coming back to ask how they were. To be fair, but then he'd go back up to first. It'll come to me, but the yeah. So I'll do the next band I saw. Beautiful South.
Oh,
5 times I've seen the Beautiful South.
oh.
Brixton Academy, all that kind of lot. Twice
Not
with the
saying
original female, twice with the original female singer, and then 3 times with the third. And as
Fatboy
they
Slim's
went on,
mate.
pardon?
Fatboy Slim's mate.
Well, but I thought the Beautiful South were good. Paul Heaton got fatter and fatter and forgot the words every time I went to see them. And he had the stand on the last time I went to see him. He had him on a stand, the words on the stand, and he was reading them.
He was in the House Martins with Fatboy Slim.
Yeah, I love the House Martins. But I love that. I really like them. It was the first album was really kind of the first Beautiful South album was really powerful for me at the time because I was going through a bit of a rough time. I played a lot. You Sail the Ship Alone was a song I used to play the guitar and often play that live. I really liked it.
Yeah,
Good times.
good times.
And I'll just throw in another one at a club, Technotronic, one hit wonder.
What did they have? What was their?
They came and turned up in a club in Ashford in
No, but
Kent.
what was their one-hit wonder?
Technotronic. Dan, 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 dan,
Dun,
dan.
dun, dun, dun.
Wasn't
Okay,
that them? That was Technotronic.
I don't know. Probably.
Yeah. Technotronic. Dan, 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 dan. I think that was it. They did a couple of tracks and everyone was really bored after they'd done their main track. They were one hit wonder. So that was it really.
Tommy Lee says, I'd like to meet King Charles just so I can see how he reacts when I say, you're right, Charlie. There's a very cool one from Liz Allen here. I met Graham Chapman, Monty Python, a year before he passed. I asked him in a Q&A what happened to the Martin Luther King sketch and Meaning of Life, and he said it was too silly. It was too silly. It's probably a bit racist, knowing that lot. Ernie Burns says, I was on Morse in 1990. I was a tour guide on the Oxford tour bus. I didn't know they were filming. They changed the signs on the Eagle and Child. I was disgusted. I was in the background on the bus.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
I like a bit of Morse. I've never had a shag, Lewis, not in 6 series.
I met Angelina Jolie and was given a script for Tomb Raider 2, which she was filming at the time. Cool.
Nice. Ooh, nice.
That's royalty though, isn't it? I mean, we're talking about meeting like the drummer from Shawaddy Waddy.
I forgot George Takei. Have
you met George Takei?
No, sitting at Charing Cross Station having a sandwich. He walked past me. There you go. He was on stage. He was doing a stage thing in London.
Mr. Sulu.
There you go.
Take the comments.
Make it so, number one.
Make it so. No, he didn't say it. Kirk never said that. And Cumby said, the older heads have a good sense of humour. My friend supported Duff McKagan, bassist for Guns N' Roses. And in a debate of Finger versus Plectrum, Duff started with Duff McKagan. What? I don't get it. But yes. And Tommy says, should we count pro wrestlers? Yeah, absolutely. I once had the living meme Kurt Angle say, thanks, kid, at a show when I gave him a bottle of wine once.
Oh, wow.
I saw that Christopher Lee once get into a car at the end of the Star Wars Episode 3 premiere. And he waved as he went past because we were on the side streets and there was no other crowd there. And we just saw him waving. I was like, oh my God, he just waved at us.
Yeah. Oh, I've just another one. I met and I did speak to Christopher Biggins.
Love it.
This was a Pride party about 7 years ago, Pride lunch in London. He was there. He did a speech. Miriam Margolyes was meant to do the speech. She was sick, so he did it. And he was great. And he was really nice to me. And now he's a big old transphobe. So now I don't like him. And he's on GB News going, pronouns, I hate pronouns. He's a git. So, but at the time, he was really nice. And he obviously just sold out to the right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just the
Griff,
way it
Griff.
goes sometimes, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
I met quite a few artists at gigs. I met Ian Brown. Well, some at the airport.
You've met Vorders. You've met Vorders.
Met Vorders a couple of times. I Airbnb'd. We shared an Airbnb together.
You did?
The randomest thing ever.
I missed that again by about 2 hours. I missed Marina and Gemma Forte. I missed by I missed them by an hour. I kind of passed Marina. She went hello, and that was it. But I didn't speak. I miss all that. There's a lot of missing in my life. Oh, you should have been here 10 minutes ago. James Hunt was here. You know, oh, fuck off.
I met quite a few bands and stuff at gigs and festivals. I got really drunk with Scissor Sisters once, which was incredible. Me and Animatronic in the Enemy signing tent at a gig once, and I got absolutely fucking wrecked. And then I went out into the crowd.
Did you feel like dancing?
I did. No, I did feel like dancing. So I went out into the crowd. Jake stayed behind because he didn't feel like dancing. And I went into the crowd for the Pixies, and I can remember the first couple of songs, and then I went crowd surfing because this is back in the day when people still crowd surfed. It was amazing. And then I woke up like, I don't know, an hour later at the side of the front of the stage, and I just passed out because I drank so much, and I woke up and the Strokes were on the stage. I was so gutted because I was so excited about seeing the Pixies. Yeah. And then kind of missed it because I was too drunk. And I also lost my hat, my first ever Akubra that I had, which I wore around the world from like 2002 to 2005 or 6 or something. Yeah, that got lost at that point. Oh, also, I met Snow Patrol. This is back in 2004, and I think it was it would have been at Leeds or at V. I think it was at Leeds, and I was sitting having a chat with Gary Lightbody, and I said, you know, I was praising Run, which had come out that year. And I said, mate, you know, because it had been released earlier that year. And I said, oh, you should have brought that out as a Christmas single. You know, that would have got to #1. And I'm pretty sure it was around the time that, remember the music from Donnie Darko? Yeah. Got to Christmas #1. I was like, Run by Snow Patrol is quite sort of similar, gloomy song that, you know, is quite beautiful in a way. And they were laughing about it, you know. And then, years later, Leona Lewis sings Run, a cover version of it for fucking X Factor, and it gets to #1. And I was like, I told you should have released it for... Now, they must know how Andy, what's his name? Vince Clarke and Alison Moyet feel from Yazoo when they released Only You for the Flying Pickets to come and steal the glory and get the Christmas #1 with the a cappella version.
Yeah, that's my pastime, recreating Yazoo hits on my synth.
Oh, fantastic!
I just spend my poor wife, and I'm sitting there going, you know, trying to go, oh, come on, and Gary Newman. It's there listening to me doing that all afternoon.
It's fantastic. No, Yazoo, was it Upstairs at Eric's? Was that the first?
Upstairs at Eric's, yeah, it's a great album.
Yeah, Mr. Blue, Don't Go. Only You. Brilliant.
It's good.
Brilliant.
Okay, I'll throw another band in then. So again, I have a friend who's sung councils and quite a lot of stuff, and she invites me to stuff as you know. So I saw, you know, Michael. I guess he's not comedians and stuff, but James Brown in Hyde Park, who was supporting the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and it was great because she was getting there waiting for James Brown to sing "Getting On Up." That was the one she wanted to hear him sing, and she went to the loo and he sung it while she was in the loo, and she came back. Oh, wow. You just missed it. But, it was good. Hyde Park, hot day, lots of everyone drinking beer. It was a good day. My claim to fame is not my claim to fame with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. My mum was on a flight back from Australia, and she said, "Oh, there was a band." My mum is like, you know, Miss Marple. She's like, "Oh, there was a band on the plane, darling." I said, "Oh yeah, yeah, so very nice." I got, you know, one of them got me a drink, and then I asked another one to get me some nuts, and they were really lovely. And I got them. She had them up and down. My dad said she had them up and down the whole flight. It was the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
That is brilliant. I love the idea of a flea just jumping up and getting there some peanuts. Oh, that's awesome.
My mum was hard to say no to.
So we've got loads of in the chat here, so we're gonna have to run through them all.
Go for it. Yeah.
And Sarah says we had a few famous actors. We had Shia LaBeouf was here last year. Wow. Pete's music. Me meeting the Queen was kind of landed with it. I'm a total anti-royalist, so it was no great pleasure. Well, I'm not really a pro-royalist, but it's just good to being cool. Amy says, I met Warwick Davis, Wicket from and Willow. He only can play characters whose name begins with W. At a comic shop in Cheltenham. That's really cool. I met Howard Marks, the famous cannabis smuggler, aka Mr. Nice, where he did talk about his crimes. Great man, loved his weed. I remember he did a talk at Manchester University Academy back in 1998 or 9 or something. Mr. Nice, yeah. And then Elle says, told Timmy Mallet, you're nothing without that mallet. That's really funny, Elle. And Tommy says, Al Capone is the reason we have expiration dates on milk. His cousin got sick off some expired milk and he petitioned the state government of Chicago to put dates on milk. He did not do the smell test. And Sad says, Graham, I went on the Royal Irish Ferry across the Mersey and Jerry Marsden was on. They were playing his song too. That's really cool. Jerry from Jerry and the Pacemakers. Amy says, my first gig was Iron Maiden at Twickenham. Again, really cool gigs. Cool. And Cumry says, Bruce Dickinson confirmed that it was true that he's a pilot. And when there was an ash cloud from the volcanoes that grounded flight, he flew over to rescue some stranded Brits to get back for Christmas. Yeah, that's true. Have you seen the plane that's got the Iron Maiden branding on it?
Yeah. I forgot to mention I had conversation with Gary Newman about flying.
Oh, what?
I know.
It wasn't about cars.
Because I wasn't. I know he was at the Wings and Things air show in a little field near here.
Oh, brilliant!
And he flew a Harvard in, and we chatted about flying because my dad used to fly, and I learned to fly, and my brother can fly, and we all fly, and flying is a thing. So we were talking about planes, but he doesn't fly anymore because his insurance is not, because he's because of what he does. He's a rock singer, isn't he? So touring. And he still sounds exactly the same, even though he's a lot. He doesn't sound any different.
Yeah. Elle says, a friend of mine nicked a crash cymbal at the back of a Pantera gig in Cardiff. That is beautiful. I love that. A few years ago, I was within touching distance of Rammstein at a gig in Cardiff before the allegations came out. I was 50 years, still one of the best nights of my life. Rammstein, famous for having a song called Rammstein, in which they just say Rammstein over and over again. Brilliant.
Isn't that the castle in Where Equals There?
Yeah. They were on the soundtrack to, I think, Lost Highway, the David Lynch film. Ed, that was from Ed. Cumry says, Cardiff, international area for me. Seeing Eddie for the first time, what experience. It left me with a fear of the dark. Very good. And Sarah saying, Graham, you got to roll with it. First band, Iron Maiden, with Paul Di'Anno on vocals. That's 1980. Sorry. He was the original singer, wasn't he?
Yeah. I remember I said I went to see Spider and I couldn't remember the lead, the main act.
Yeah.
It was Ian Gillan.
Any relation to Karen?
No, Ian Gillan was a heavy metal. I don't know which one of the bands. Somebody in the chat. Yeah. Ian Gillan was on his own, playing on his own. He used to be in one of the big heavy metal bands. It was Ian Gillan was the main act. It was Spider was the support, which is why I have tinnitus. There you go. I didn't get it. I can't remember names, but they come around like a sail ship. It takes me a while. They come back.
Pete saying his mate's got a burger van called Oasis Burgers with 3 S's. His slogan is "You got to roll with it." I
still like Schindler's Lifts.
my dad used to run a cafe opposite Anfield called the Cup of Tea.
Very good.
Yeah. And also his carburetor shop in on Muirhead Avenue was called Get a Better Carburetor.
Yeah. There was in South London, there was Patel's Plumbers. You've had the Cowboys, now have the Indians, which I always liked.
I love it. Liam started trouble at an alt rock bar near me. Problem was it was monthly rave night. He hid behind bodyguards. Noel said to the bouncers, "This happens a lot." This is from Mel. Yeah. So I get the impression that Liam is a bit of a dick. Chris said, I met the Chuckle Brothers on stage. Oh, brilliant. Hey. Brilliant. The Chuckle Brothers, obviously, it's just one now. But they started the Panto. And also, Richard O'Brien during the Rocky Horror Picture Show. That's very cool, Chris.
Richard O'Brien. Yeah,
I met Richard O'Brien because he also did a talk at Fab Cafe.
Who was the guy in Robin's Nest?
What?
Robin's Nest, Man About the House. That was something O'Brien, wasn't it? Wasn't that Richard O'Brien?
No. Richard O'Brien was Rocky Horror and the Crystal.
Oh, no, but I mean the actor was.
And Dark City, which is a really good movie that everyone should watch. But yeah, no, I met him. I met him when he was doing the talk. I met Paul Darrow, and I met Jerry Anderson.
Hey, Jerry Anderson would be good.
From the
Love
Birds
Space 1999.
fame. Joanna says, I suppose the last thing is my last thing is at Essex Uni. Radiohead was supporting Kingmaker. Managed to have a short chat. The chat was as depressing as their music.
Yeah.
I once worked at a meat processing factory with the sister of the British bulldog, Davy Boy Smith. That's from Pete. That is brilliant. And Elle says, I'm not sure if I met Darren Brown. Lol. Very good. Very good.
Well, that's like, I slept with Darren Brown. Really? Yeah, well, he said he was Darren Brown.
Yeah. Cumry says, I've met James Dean Bradfield from Mannix a couple of times. A friend of mine used to work at a prominent music shop in the centre of Cardiff, Soundblock. Yeah, I've met him a couple of times as well. He's lovely. Absolutely lovely. In fact, all three Mannix.
Oh, Ian Gillan was Deep Purple. Just there you go.
Okay.
Deep Purple.
Did they go dun 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 dun
Smoke on the Water?
Dun 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 dun,
which is everybody can play by just holding.
Yeah, it's just one string in it. Great riff though, great riff. Apparently they stole it, by the way. Apparently they stole it.
Oh,
yeah.
Contentious.
But then there's only so many chord progressions, isn't there? I was on the set of New Earth when Cassandra dies on Doctor Who. Whoa, that's very cool.
That's very cool.
That's very cool. Chris is saying, also met Robbie Williams years ago. There was a chance meeting as his parents owned the pub next to the theatre. That's very cool. And this was Person Impersonator. Met. This was before Time Team. Apparently, he was a good bloke. Still surprised at his success. I'm guessing you're talking about Tony Robinson. I guess. Let's see what else we got in here. We got to wrap up soon, haven't we?
Yeah, well, that's all right.
You're gonna shout at that. By your lady wife. I have a mate that used to do stage monitor for Snow Patrol. Last I knew, he was working with Muse. Oh, don't tell Wayne that. I'll get very excited. He has Muse tattoos.
I love Muse. The Black Holes and Revelations. That's a good album.
Yeah, fantastic album. I think I gotta love that studios are in Cardiff. Nightmare down the bay though, having to change at Cardiff Central. Okay. Tommy Lee. Just remember, did anyone watch Waterloo Road, the school drama? I guess I used to work with the actress who played Sambuca in that series. She really got into skateboarding, even though she played a shav. Cool. John really likes Only You by Yazoo. Yeah, it's an awesome song. And then Ernie on 9/9/99, I went to a Rankin private viewing. I phoned up XFM for an invite. It was called Raw Nudes, and I ended up in the after show with Rankin and Natalie Imbruglia at home. But I was wasted. Free bar. That's very cool.
Wow, that's good.
That is very cool. Elle says, I saw Alison Moyet in 2018. Interesting tour performing Yazoo songs and her own songs as they were done by Yazoo. She should release a live album of it. I had to go. I saw Erasure at the same place. And my mum met Tom Baker, says Russ, when he came into a pub and she was working as a barmaid in the 70s. She asked for an autograph for me, so he gave her a postcard signed to Russell from Doctor Who.
Oh. So he's another one I haven't spoken to, but he's standing behind me in Waitrose in Tenterden in Kent.
Ramana. He's a Scouser, you know.
Ramana.
We've had two Scouse James Bond. Sorry, we've had two Scouse.
Yeah.
Doctor Who's, which I'm very proud about. Not as many as there've been Scottish Doctor Who's. There's more Doctor.
Scottish ones make the best ones.
I know.
They do.
I know.
I've got one more celebrity I've seen, one more band, I suppose you could see.
Yeah, go on.
So again, I was on a cruise back. I used to go a lot of about 1998.
Yeah.
Is it 1990? No, yeah, 1998. And so on the billing, it said Bernie Flynn, and I went, oh, that's the guy that used to ride the ostrich in Crackerjack, right? Bernie Flynn. Anyway, he comes on and he says, "Hi, I'm Bernie Flynn." and everyone claps, and he sings his one hit, and he goes, "By the way, I'm not the guy who rode the ostrich in Crackerjack. That was um, Bernie Clifton." So anyway, I thought it was funny because the whole audience laughed because everyone was like, "He's like the guy in Crackerjack," you know. And it was anyway. He sang his one hit, and I felt sorry for him because he was in the bar afterwards. I didn't speak to him, but everybody thinks he's the Crackerjack guy. He had a one-hit wonder in the '70s that went ballistically famous. Yeah, one hit, and then now he's just doing the cruise line, singing his one hit. You know, it's just I felt sorry for him really. Bit of a lonely life.
One Angry Pagan says that he met David James, the former England goalkeeper, once walked into him in food tech class in year 8. And Bruce Dickinson runs an aviation company at the former RAF base in St. Athens.
Wow.
St. Athens, St. Albans, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
And Adam says, was crewing at uni. Phil Lynott was playing. His manager asked me to hold the dressing room open, or Phil might not get on stage. Phil told me to fuck off. Phil was a very big bloke. I effed off. Well, I remember when Suede played at the Manchester
It's
Academy.
Christmas.
Suede, not Slade. Wash your ears out. Suede, the band, dog band star coming up. And funnily enough, Bernard Butler, formerly of Suede, had played a few weeks earlier, and he was really nice. And he came out and met the fans, and he was talking about how to play songs on the guitar and on the piano and stuff. Really nice guy. And then Suede came along, and the rest of the band were really lovely, really nice. Neil Codling, the brother of Richard Osman.
Oh yeah,
he's in Suede, and they were all lovely except for Brett. Brett was like a fucking. I don't know. He was just a bit of a dick, right? Brett Anderson, and I sort of held a bit of a grudge against him for a very long time because I got my ticket signed by the rest of the band, but not Brett, and I was like, oh come on, I've got everyone. Anyway, years and years later, when I was doing Three Blokes in the Pub, one of the people who followed our shows, I met them down in. We were down in Brighton for the Lib Dem conference, and she and I had a conversation about Suede, and she said, "Well, I actually work with Suede. I'll give me your address. I'll sort something out." And they sent me a copy of the Blue Hour, and it was signed. And inside the signed CD was a EU flag signed by the band. So I like Brett Anderson now. He's a nice guy. maybe he's just having a bad night. I don't know. But yeah, it's hard. You can't judge people by one lousy interaction.
No, you might just catch them on a bad day.
Yeah. But it was interesting working at a venue where we had Eminem come, we had Dave Grohl, Foo Fighters, we had Chris Cornell was singing with his band. And that most of the people that you met were just really lovely. I gave Eminem some beer once. There you go. Delivered some beer to his dressing room, and he went thanks.
I got. What's the boxer? Lennox something or other.
Lennox Lewis.
Yeah. I got thrown out of a VIP lounge in a club in Toronto once. I had VIP tickets, and then he arrived with a massive entourage.
Oh, what a twat.
All of us out.
Oh, no.
So he could come in. And Bono was meant to come. It was the opening of a club.
Oh, I hate him.
The only reason I was there is because my cousin in Canada was it was a real estate agent and had sorted the club out in the original sale. So I was there.
I was a fake estate agent.
Really?
Yeah, true story. Right, we're gonna have to go through a few of the stories that are in the chat, and then we're gonna have to wrap up because I don't want to get you into trouble.
One more celebrity.
Okay, well, let me read these out, and then you do your last one.
None of the ones I know, I've met. They're all just been like 60 seconds.
Yeah, I know. Pete Vandenkaart. I once played guitar in a panto for a local theatre group. I turned to the audience, and Andy Burnham was staring at me. I smiled at him. He smiled back and went back to my guitar.
The next Prime Minister. Excellent.
That's cool. Andy Burns. I was at Brett Cross at HMV getting boner dragged by Morrissey for my sister, and I said it wrong, Boner, and someone corrected me. It's Bonner, actually. It was Boy George. I love that. You were corrected by Boy George. I once went into the toilet in Sheffield during the Sheffield Documentary Film Festival in the pub, and Mark Commode was in there, and I just said, Mark Commode. It's the commode, it's the toilet. Anyway, and he just looked at me like I was a tit. That happens to me a lot with these celebrities. They just look at me like I'm a tit. It's like they know me. The Chuckle Brothers were playing Wishy and Washy, and some of their jokes were brilliant. Went over the kids' heads, but the adults got them in panto, I guess. And then we've got Tommy Lee saying they're not famous, but I met the band Desolated. The bass player Jake was killed on October the 7th in Tel Aviv, which is also my birthday. Oh, sorry, goodness. Tommy. Bloody hell. Man About the House, Richard O'Sullivan.
Thank you. Not Richard O'Brien.
Thank you, Adam Mayhem, for that. Tim says I was one of the people up the marquee polls for the first Foo Fighters gig in the UK. That's cool. When I was young, I had curly, wavy, long hair, and just as some guy tried taking the piss out of my hair, Adam Jones, the Welsh Rugby International, walks past and compliments my hair. Fainted the guy. Haha, that's cool. Yeah. Richard O'Sullivan was in Robin's Nest as well. Elle says I hid behind Chris Barry. I didn't approach him. I hid behind him saying,
"Hey, Mr. Britus."
Colin. We got Company saying, I know the guitarist, Ray Taff Williams, who gave guitar lessons to Jimi Hendrix, was the guitar tech for Cream and is indirectly the reason for most successful hit, Sunshine of Your Love. And this all shows one thing, the 6 degrees of contact is real, says John. It absolutely is. And do you know what? It's because in every group of 6 people, there will be a super connector. Yeah. Someone who has friends in other continents and other countries, and it just takes one super connector.
I'm guessing that's you in our chat.
In our chat, yeah. Well, it's probably Terry Christian, actually.
Yeah, Terry
knows a lot of people. I mean, he's the first person to give Nirvana a show on British television. That was Terry.
Hey.
True story. We'll never have heard of them if it wasn't for Terry Christian. Yeah. And my brother-in-law was in Babylon 5. Very cool, Tim.
Oh, I'm just about to start watching that. I've never seen it.
Company says, well, filming on Pole Dark, Aidan Turner accidentally stepped on me. I was an extra. It was dark. I was a prisoner of war sleeping on the floor. And as soon as they cut, he couldn't apologise enough.
Oh, yeah.
Aidan Turner, did he play Littlefinger? And he was in
Being Human.
Queer as Folk. Was that him? Is that Aidan Turner?
Oh.
Am I getting mixed up?
Oh, I thought Aidan Turner, if it was Paul Dark, it's Aidan Turner. He was in Being Human. He played a vampire.
Oh, okay, right. Different one. I'm thinking of someone else from Game of Thrones who played Littlefinger.
Oh, no, there's Aidan Hanlon or something. Yeah. He was also in The Wire, that guy. The guy you're talking about was in The Wire, played the mayor.
He did play the mayor in The Wire, season 3, I think. Okay, so I got to know the guy who was the very first contestant voted off Strictly Come Dancing, Jason Wood, a stand-up comedian. He lived a few doors from me. Lovely guy. Sadly, he died young in his sleep. Oh, sorry, Ross. That's a bit sad. My brother works at the Art Centre in Manchester. You met David Lynch. Oh, that is very cool, Pete Dencat. Yeah. My brother used to work for Alan Sugar. Used to see him every day. Right, you got 1 minute. Tell us your last one.
Well, my last one is I used to go. If you're into magic, and I'm not, but this guy used to be on Channel 4. Used to run a series called The Secret Cabaret. So he'd come in on the pub in the 90s. And on Channel 4 late at night was The Secret Cabaret. And he used to do gothic magic. Yeah. He toured with Iron Maiden. He did all the Kate Bush. He toured with Kate Bush and did all her magic. And on stage, this guy called Simon Drake. He's in the top 50 magicians. Yeah. And I used to go clubbing with him a lot in the 90s. I was a big clubber. He was a big clubber. Met him in a club. Became friends. Big magician. Went to a lot of his shows. Great guy. And he runs a secret magic venue in South London now called the House of Magic. He's a great guy. Lots of magicians who are in the magic circle love him. And he was such a great party animal, and he was a great guy and a great friend. And I haven't seen him in years, but that era of me heavily hitting the clubs in the 90s and early 2000s. Yeah, Simon was was in the club scene. It was good.
Oh,
nice guy.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Yeah. All right. Aidan Turner was also in Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit. Okay. Being Human was filmed in Barry.
That's right.
In Wales.
Barry Island. No, it wasn't Barry Island. Well, maybe it was Barry Island.
Yeah, it was Barry Island. That's where.
Great. Being Human was great. I really like that.
Dark. Is that the one with the vampire and the werewolf?
The ghost and
the ghost, they all live together.
Werewolf. Yeah, living together.
I like that.
That was good.
Okay, we're going to have to leave it there because otherwise we'll be here all night with our names to fame.
Well, the socialites have seen more famous people than we have.
So congrats to everyone in the chat for being so awesome.
Thank you.
I will return tomorrow with a bit of politics at 9 o'clock for Morning Brew. Yeah, I know. Sorry. Sorry, everyone. Vast apologies. Vast waves of apologies for having to talk about politics on Politics Social. Like a dickhead. But Thanks for joining us tonight. Thank you so much, Rachel, for coming on tonight and chatting away with us
All
and
the crap
telling us
stuff people I know.
stories from the road. And just like I say, give us a like on the way out if you would. It's only a small crowd that we have tonight, so if you all give us a like, that'll really help the
we're not a
algorithm.
popular show.
People might, get into the channel and go, that's cool. I like this. I like this stuff.
I keep saying to Graham, get somebody better on. This isn't a popular show.
This is great.
I like doing this one.
I love doing this one. Anyway, I'm going to have to have some din-din. So until tomorrow morning, I'll tell you, thank you so much for watching. Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye. Bye. Oh, my end button's not working. Typical. That's because it crashed earlier and had to reset everything. Here we go. Okay, should we do that again? Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.
Bye.
All right, work that time.